Part 10. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 91. Yeshi moved very quickly, without waiting for anyone to react. There was an uproar in the live broadcast room, and the lizard man suddenly stood up. They didn't expect that all the humiliations on their side were in vain, and they became angry for a moment. One of the lizard men wearing special clothes spoke directly from his heart. "Human, do you still think it was 10,000 years ago? Times have changed a long time ago. Now it is no longer your time, but the world of our Nibiru planets. There are only a few thousand Nibiru people in the base. Because their reproduction is inherently difficult, plus they are far away from their home planet." At this time, his eyes were splitting when he looked at Yeshi, and his tone returned to its original condescension. Only the only one who had read more books, liked to read the history of Nibiru, and had a high status, had a flash of panic on his wrinkled face. It just wanted to make amends. I saw other Nibiru people already picking up weapons from the side. Holding the giant storm gun and looking at Yeshi, he said, "Human beings have a saying that is right, shameless. Don't think there's any pride in destroying our protective shield. It's just a crude invisible protective shield. Priest, times have changed, even if the carbon-based creature in front of me has just awakened from slumber. Can it be compared with the high-tech firearms in our hands?" Its tone was full of contempt. The stupid carbon-based life has not completed the technological leap for such a long time, but wants us to take action. No matter how special the human being in front of me is, he is just a small human being. How can we bow to this carbon-based life with so many weapons? The Nibiru people in the base nodded at the same time. Times have changed, priest. We have now initially mastered the technology of our home planet, which is more than enough to deal with humans. My suggestion is to kill them directly. These arrogant words reached everyone's ears without any cover-up. The priest's eyes changed and he wanted to refute. Others began to prepare weapons in the base and wanted to take action against Yeshi. Yeshi watched the performance in front of him leisurely. It's not that he is careless, it's just that there is really no need to be too vigilant. This Nibiru star said so many things. Yeshi didn't pay much attention, he just said. In fact, times have not changed. Yeshi held the Xiankong sword in his hand. At this time, he raised it slightly, and the sword energy began to wreak havoc. Surprisingly, those sophisticated weapons seemed useless. It's like being blocked by sword energy. The rest of the people were in a hurry, except for the old lizard who suddenly knelt on the ground. He wanted to pull Yeshi's trouser legs and told him not to continue. Adults, times have changed. Adult, in fact, times have not changed. Why is this old lizard so scared? What does he know? Alegio, the ignorant are fearless, what else can there be? Listening to what it said before, I understand that it must know a lot of inside information about our planet, and it recognizes the anchor as a person from that time. The sword energy in Yeshi's hand directly blocked all weapons. It was like a high-level energy crushing them, making these Nibiru people panic all of a sudden. Yeshi felt that the old lizard man under his feet was still pulling at him. Shrugging his shoulders, an ice blue sword appeared in his hand. The alien base instantly turned into an ice sculpture. Together with those Nibiru people. Oops, what's going on? I knew it was a crushing game, but I didn't know it was such a crushing game. Remembering that I used to tease Laoye that he was a thief, it made me feel cold all over and I was scared. Ding, congratulations to the host, the side mission is completed, and the reward is biological composite or X5 kg, genetic chain X2, and Sun Wheel. Sun Wheel, a mythical product forged from the sun. It can continuously absorb the energy of the sun and become more powerful. Have you heard of Krypton Eons? It is the artifact version of Krypton Eons. It is a solar artifact that can be integrated into itself or used as a weapon. Used as a weapon. That's right. Yeah, she had already accepted the side mission. The most coveted thing was the sun wheel, so when I heard the sound of the system reminding me that the side mission had been completed, a bright smile spread across my face. It's just that some people who watched it became even more scared. Yeah, she didn't care what others thought of him. Anyway, it's the best reward to get. And he had a hunch that the next time he went exploring, he might not be in the ground. Wow, that's so cool, as expected of yeah, kill these evil lizard people. Why are there still people here saying they feel sorry for these lizard people? If you feel so sorry for them, you can save them now. Yang Xuanhuan, these lizard people have always wanted to control humans, and have imposed technological restrictions on us and required children to be sacrificed. Yes, you may see a lot of things you don't want to see next, but this matter is, don't worry about the follow-up. Thank you for helping us solve a big trouble. Holy shit, wait a minute, child sacrifice, damn it, how could it be? Are there really people who are so heartbroken and crazy? What country dares to do this? Yeah, she saw that the live broadcast room was starting to boil again. And some special departments simply gave up struggling when they saw that they could not hide anything. Some revelations on the internet suddenly emerged one after another. Especially the disclosure of a large number of photos, which made people extremely frightened. And some well-known Western religious figures and special personnel were even identified. Yeah, she frowned when he saw the child sacrifice. After asking the system and finding that it was indeed the case, he suddenly felt that he was too gentle just now. And when the gate of the base was violently opened, in addition to the various resources piled up, the research on humans, and some high-tech, the most important thing was the food for these lizard people. Favorite Pikachu, ugh, I want to die. I would rather Lao Ya kill 100 or 1,000 lizards than see the scene in front of me. I also regret not killing them all. I never thought that there would be such a devil inside. It corresponds to the photos posted outside. I want to cry. Fortunately, our country does not have this kind of child sacrifice. These children are so miserable. Yeah, she looked at the human experiments in front of him, as well as various things featuring child sacrifice. His face was very ugly. It is recorded here that child sacrifice is a kind of black magic, but they have never succeeded. Although it has not succeeded, it is still going on. And recently, because the world has changed, their black magic has succeeded for a short time. Yeah, she said the data and results of the experiment, and his eyes were even more angry. After destroying the documents involving black magic and the tools used for sacrifice, he walked out with an angry face. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 92. When Yeshi came out of the base, the whole world is in a state of uproar, and they are all fighting against those high-ranking officials who sacrifice children. After Yeshi destroyed all the books about black magic and related equipment inside, only the remains of the children were left. Yeshi felt quite heavy at this time. He looked at the camera and said, I didn't expect these lizard people to be so cruel. But what's even more unacceptable is that there are still humans among us who are complicit in their evil deeds. Except for those poor children and the technological aspects, I have destroyed all other special methods. I didn't destroy the space, I just wanted to keep it as evidence. Yeshi shook his head as he spoke, and the lizard men behind him were completely shattered into pieces among the ice sculptures. It's so scary. I now regret that I shouted about seeing aliens before. This wave really shattered my idea of friendly exchanges. Unfortunately, we can only know these contents from Lao Ye's live broadcast room. Opening doors to new worlds one after another, right? Ding, congratulations to the host for improving the exploration of the fourth secret realm by 24%, and the overall progress is now 75%. Ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking the fourth puzzle piece of the fourth secret realm. The reward is X10 snow ginseng fruit, X5 kg biological composite ore, X10 advanced genetic energy liquid, X1 black magic manual, and X1 fragment of the fourth secret realm. The fourth secret realm illustrated book, Nibiru Starship. The Nibiru Starship, as described in many science fiction movies and novels, its appearance is exactly the same as the flying saucer recognized by the general public. This is the interstellar flight vehicle used by the Nibiru people to come to the Blue Star. Thousands of people have been lying here. Years later, if you want, you can board the spacecraft and go to Nibiru now. Snow ginseng fruit, the elixir sleeping under the glacier, can make up for the lost energy and blood of life and open up the biological potential and even the divine treasure. Black Magic Manual, a very basic black magic tutorial, mainly used to communicate with special planes, perform sacrifices and summons. When Yeshi heard these reminders from the system, there was nothing else. But I was really embarrassed when it came to the Nibiru Starship. No, I don't want to. Everyone was a little surprised when they saw Yeshi. Unexpectedly, he once again raised the Xian longsword in his hand, which made everyone feel tense. He thought that another enemy had come, or that the lizard man was not completely dead yet. Yeshi swung the Xian Kong sword down. It's like the chi of nothingness has been shaken. The layers of frost and snow shook away, revealing a very sci-fi looking carapace. Yeshi put away his sword. Then he walked forward and said as he walked, "When I just walked here, I felt like there was something hidden under this layer of snow. It seems to be the aircraft used by those lizard people to come to our planet. Let's go in and see what these alien spaceships look like." Yeshi didn't care what kind of technological lock it was. He directly channeled the immortal power in his body, and then locked all the flowing gas particles in the building. Then he slashed open the protection in front of him with a sword, and the appearance of the Nibiru Starship appeared in front of everyone. Alegio, I don't understand. The Nibiru people's technological means are far superior to our current technology. Even our technology can self-destruct when opened abnormally. Why does it matter whether it is an alien base or none of the spaceships in front of them self-destruct? Yang Xuanhuan, although as a physicist, when I say this, people may think that I am a bit pretentious, but sometimes, we must not only look at things from a scientific perspective, but perhaps we can also try to look at things from a theological perspective. Golden Mouse, there's nothing difficult to understand. It's just because the science we currently have is temporarily inaccessible to that aspect with our current individual technology, we can't fly into the sky for the time being, let alone Yeshen's ability to manifest it now. Theology is far beyond our control of science and technology. I don't know how serious it is. It feels like three big guys are fighting each other. Doesn't it mean that the Dragon Kingdom has started martial arts training for all people? I have already bought a plane ticket and want to go to your Xuanhuan mountain to practice. Did ye come down from this mountain? Brother, what should I tell you? Xuanhuan is actually, Sui Hark. You harmed me, brother. Yet. This is a bit funny. A foreign friend went to Lao Ye's alma mater and piously asked the principal to teach him martial arts, but, the principal was already bald, and now his hair is even balder. Yeshi looked at the spaceship in front of him. I also saw what netizens were discussing on the barrage, so I explained it casually. Oh, you are talking about this. I don't have a deep understanding of technology. You can think so. Yeshi suddenly had water in the void, and then the water instantly condensed into frost. Seeing the water condensed into pure ice, everyone was very surprised. I heard something like this. It's almost like this. If those high technologies were water, I would control all the water and make them unable to move. This way, even if I violently open the base or this place, it won't have anything to do with it. Because they can't move, they can't get back to where they should be. Yang Xuanhuan, particles, you control the activities of basic particles. Yeshi nodded when he saw this barrage. Then he stepped forward and pressed the switch on the spacecraft. Everyone can see that the spaceship, which looks full of technology, suddenly levitates. Don't get me wrong, I don't intend to fly the spaceship away. I'm just going to open it now and then show you how the spaceship looks like when it's opened. A few rays of white light shone on the ground. The disc-like flying saucer slowly flew up, exactly like the alien spacecraft everyone imagined. That's outrageous. Does anyone want to ask what Lao Ye plans to do with this spaceship? Just when many people watching the live broadcast were extremely excited. Jingle bell bell. Yeshi's cell phone rang. At the same time, in a research laboratory in Longguo, many people looked at the spaceship in Yeshi's live broadcast room with excitement. Lao Hu and the others couldn't resist so many eager eyes, so they finally chose to call Yeshi. But this time, in order to show sincerity, the call was made using Yeshi's ordinary mobile phone. Hello, it's me, Lao Hu. I called you again. Sorry, I saw you live broadcast, but you still answer my call when you are so busy. Yeshi was really surprised when he saw the contact person, and then answered the phone. And when I heard such a polite tone from the person opposite, suddenly I understood what the situation was like. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 93. Yeshi sneered. When did you become so polite? Okay, if you have anything, just tell me. Yeshi heard old Hu on the other side of the phone speaking intermittently without saying anything, and then he thought about it. I understand, you want to ask me about the spaceship down here, right? Yeshidu already has a luxurious and supreme spaceship, as well as the driving force of eternal crystal. He really didn't care much about the thing in front of him, which looked like waste to him. It's just about letting his fans see the world. But now seeing Lao Hu's hesitant look, his tone became casual. I don't need this thing, you can just take it away. Or do you want me to give you one as a gift? A person next to Lao Hu was overjoyed and immediately started to smile. He wanted to urge Lao Hu to respond quickly. Okay, thank you, it's me, Lao Hu, who's bothering you this time? I will not call you again except for personal contact. Yeshi was also quite surprised when he heard the determination in Lao Hu's tone. But he responded twice and then turned off his phone. He looked at the barrage again and found that Yang Xuanhuan had even come to the country proudly and sent a message to compensate him. It made him laugh dumbly, but he still thanked the academician. After Yeshi activated the spaceship, the audience watching the live broadcast had enough appreciation before letting the spacecraft land again. He continued walking forward alone in the snow field. I'm still asking the system in my mind. System, does the sun will still exist? When Yeshi was on Earth, he was very covetous of superhuman physiques. But now he can copy it, and he thinks it's totally fine. Especially if there are two sun wheels. In other words, the Kryptonians stay by the sun's side all the time. Doesn't that mean there is no upper limit to the strength? Ding, there are miracles in the world outside the ice wall. Please keep going forward to explore the secrets. You can see more rewards. Based on the strength of the individual, it is not recommended that the host uses any treasure that is integrated into itself, such as the sun wheel, the non-transformable bone, the golden pumpkin, etc. Why? Ding, because the host itself has no upper limit. Yeshi. Don't tell me, he felt great when he heard the system bragging about him like this. I took it for granted before, but now when I think about cultivating immortality, the divine treasure has also been opened, and you can still explore the authority of the ancient gods in the future. Compared to these, a mere Kryptonian seems to be nothing. Yeshi threw these things out of his mind. According to some information just revealed by the system, there is something else outside the ice wall. It seems to be something more shocking than the world's ice wall and those lizard people. Yeshi touched his chin, and there was faint ice blue frost and snow falling behind him. Yes, his self-forged artifact has successfully evolved. Yeshi really didn't expect it to be a sword. What is more important? This sword can transform into sword form and human form. Yeshi was not excited at all. He just wants to complete this exploration as soon as possible, and then go home to study this extremely magical sword. Thinking of this, Yeshi's movements were a little faster. The ice fields seem endless. And when Yeshi agreed to Longuo's request, the top leaders of other countries instantly held an emergency meeting, and they were all thinking about what to do next. At the same time, the lizardmen disguised as humans who were originally active in human society have been completely eliminated. It's not that these high-level officials don't want to swing around. But they couldn't even defeat the lizard people, and they wouldn't want to provoke Yeshi, who killed the lizard people with one sword. As a result, the diplomats from the Dragon Kingdom suddenly discovered that the eyes of the friends they had known in the past were full of flattery. The tone is also extremely flattering and respectful. Especially the embassies stationed in other countries are crowded with people. It was even more lively than a vegetable market, and all the people coming and going were people including the prime minister of a country. They thought Yeshi was outrageous. I have no intention of communicating with myself anyway, so I can only communicate with those people from the Dragon Kingdom. In addition to the Dragon Kingdom, many people regard it as the true spirit of God in the world, or the reincarnation of Muhammad, or the incarnation of Satan. Anyway, if you can have a relationship with Yeshi, you will try your best to do so. Even if we can't make a connection, we still have to make a connection. As for the Dragon Kingdom, looking at the photos of Yeshi from kindergarten to university, I feel really weird. Those former classmates and teachers were interviewed one by one and praised Yeshi lavishly, saying that they had seen that Yeshi was not a human being since he was a child. Although Yeshi didn't know these things, he guessed them. To be honest, I really don't care. The world has recovered, and there are more and more people and things in this fantasy. Outside the ice wall, it seems like there is no end. Yeshi originally thought that he would be able to activate the last piece of the puzzle after walking for a long time. But I didn't expect that it had already been going on for 3 days. For a period of time, Yeshi was still flying with his sword on his way. It feels like the world outside the ice wall is endless. After Yeshi sighed at the camera, he continued to walk forward. Who says it's not the case? It's enough to cross the border. Do you think our world is inherently infinite? Although it is very big now, is it a little too small compared with those who always send the moon to the sky? Aleguo, infinity is unlikely, but it is indeed a distance beyond our cognitive range. However, what exactly is Yeshi looking for, and why does it feel like he is continuing to move forward with purpose? Kick the doorframe. I can't stand it anymore. They all said that Yeshen will collect a lot of information before exploring. Isn't this necessarily a matter of following the information? Don't ask questions after explaining things over and over again. It looks like you have a low IQ. I am God, but wasn't Lao Ye talking about exploring the cola drilling well at the beginning? This is as far away as Antarctica. Don't you think it's too much? Doesn't a lot of information also include the polar regions? Kick the doorframe. Don't use your stupid knowledge to speculate on Yeshen's thoughts. Why can't you do it? The ice wall in the polar world was popularized by Yeshen, not you, right? He kicked the doorframe and started arguing with the people on the barge again. Yeshi glanced at him occasionally and admired this person very much. First of all, the attitude is still so arrogant, although the target of the arrogance is different. Secondly, when I criticize others, I am still very reasonable as before. Yeshi didn't know how long he had to go forward. Just when he was about to ask the system, he stopped. From a distance, I spied the landform that was completely different from the ice field. That is an extremely huge hole. Or the abyss. And a black sun set very slowly. This scene is so incredible and shocking. So much so that the barrage that almost got into a fight stopped arguing. OMG, my god, no, my Yeshen. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 94. In front of me is an abyss in the snowfield. Yeshi was actually very far away from the black sun at this time, but everything seemed to be hanging in front of his eyes. Ding, congratulations to the host for improving the level of exploring the fourth secret realm by 25%. The overall progress is now 100%. Ding, congratulations to the host on the successful completion of this exploration. The Cora drilling map of the global secret map has been fully explored. Please check the corresponding map on your own. Ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking the fifth puzzle piece of the fourth secret realm. The reward is X10 snow ginseng fruit, X5 kg biological composite ore, X10 advanced genetic energy liquid, artificial star core, and X2 fragments of the fourth secret realm. The fourth secret realm illustrated book, Black Sun, World Abyss. The Black Sun has an appearance very similar to the Sun, except that it is black. It rises from the polar horizon, and can overlap the light and shadow with the real Sunday. It takes 60 years to rise from the abyss. Falling from the abyss again, it will remain unchanged. It has extremely special radiation that will affect the nature of life. No one knows what it is gestating. The abyss of the world, it seems to be the home of the Black Sun. This is the intersection of space. Jump into it and you may go to any possible world. At the same time, the stability of the space collapses, and mortals who approach it are very likely to be destroyed by space storms. Shred. Artificial star core, this is the product left by that extremely advanced civilization, and the Nibiru people, who are definitely not garbage, can be compared with it. The use of individual life forms has completed the life transition of the world, and has the same life and evolutionary capabilities as artificial stars. Whether it's the lava underground, the purgatory tunnel made of the body of a giant beast, or the black sun in front of you, they are all inextricably linked to this civilization. Yeshi flew into the sky on his flying sword. And the camera also zoomed out, but found that no matter how far it was impossible to see the whole scene in front of it. It seems that the direction is deliberately blocked, and it seems that the gods behind it can never be seen. Everyone can only see a huge black sun on the horizon. Breathing rapidly, some people even shouted for miracles and even knelt down in front of the camera. It's like a pilgrimage. And Yeshi's clear young voice slowly came out. This thing in front. His expression was very solemn. The space has collapsed. I'm afraid that no matter how much we enlarge the angle of the camera, we won't be able to see the whole picture. Remember the detection sound of the tunnel I came into contact with underground in the Cora drill. I originally thought that the remains of the ancient civilization were just that part of the world, but I didn't expect that. I still underestimated the ancient civilization. The ice abyss in front and the black sun have a lot to do with this ancient civilization. Yeshi shook his head. Then it fell down, and I didn't force the camera to zoom in anymore. Instead, he looked back at the live broadcast room and said, I'm afraid I won't be able to pass this distance for the time being. This gave me a very strong sense of space separation. Yeshi condensed an ice cube from the ground and threw it forward. I saw this ice cube rushing straight ahead like a sharp arrow. Then disappear. After that, pieces of ice turned into pieces. This series of changes did not even last a second. There are still some people who deliberately slow things down before realizing something strange. However, the surprise brought by space is indeed great. The most shocking thing is this huge black sun. For life, nothing is more frightening than a giant creature so close at hand. Not to mention the sun star that sheds its light every day. There is a buzzing in my head right now, I feel tinnitus, and I can't hear clearly what Lao Ye is saying. I want to go on a pilgrimage. This is the real God. This is a miracle left by God on earth. Although, if it is a God, why do I look a bit like an evil God? Yang Xuanhuan, is it a civilization? Morning bacteria don't know Huishuo, and worms don't know spring and autumn. Some civilizations already possess the ability of the Creator, but we can't even travel across the stars. We still have a long way to go. Golden Mouse, I feel that I am far away from this Black Sunday. I feel like I am separated by countless worlds. It's like a world is just a speck of dust. I don't know what this feeling is about. You can get such secrets at your fingertips. I no longer believe that Lao Ye is a human being. Yes, she was also confused by the information informed by the system in his mind. Especially when I see the word pregnancy. Subconsciously I felt that there was an ancient god in Black Sun. But after asking about the system, the other party's tone seemed very hesitant or weird. Ding, exploration is temporarily unavailable. It is not recommended that the host attempts to contact the unspeakable one at this time. Oh. Yes, she raised his eyebrows. What important information was captured at once? Thulhu. Ding, no, this is an indescribable existence. Please explore the evil Luosi city to obtain the authority of the gods before you understand it. Yes, she understood. The background of the person in front of me is really incredible. So yes, she took a few steps back very obediently. Smiling slightly, he just stood in the distance and watched the black sun sink into the abyss. The usual hot searches are just entertainment gossip or celebrity fans. But since Yeshi started the live broadcast, almost all the heat was taken up by him alone. There are no other names on the hot searches, which makes some fans particularly angry. They even started to quarrel. But when the black sun emerged, all the voices suddenly became mute. They were all silently browsing the trending pictures and edited short videos. When I don't know how many people are following Yeshi's camera at the same time, watching the black sun set over the mountains. The unspeakable pressure in some people's hearts dissipated, while others fell into fanatical worship. Certainly, Yeshi didn't feel anything. At most, he could look at the black sun in front of him carefully, and no matter how much he looked at him, it would have no effect. I didn't expect that our fourth live broadcast would end with watching the sun set. And this sun is not an ordinary sun, but a black sun that is very close but cannot be touched. Yeshi's voice rang out from the live broadcast room. Everyone seemed to have come to their senses now. After hearing Yeshi's words, there was a barrage of wailing. No, no, yeah, I beg you, don't disconnect the live broadcast, even if it is an empty shot, let us watch the no man's land, we are happy. Yes. Do you think it's appropriate for you to live broadcast for just a few days at a time? Are you worthy of us? Don't force me to kneel down and beg you, I want to hear you tell more stories about the world, civilization, and the universe. Yeshi's tone was very innocent. It's appropriate. Why isn't it appropriate? He didn't care at all about the barrage's begging, pleading, and threats. Directly closed the live broadcast room. Then I stayed here alone for a while. He held the blue pyramid and disappeared from this place. Oh yes. He seems to have forgotten something again. What is it? The sun, the beach, the ocean, and an icy blue sword gradually transformed into a human form. Yeshi lay on his own island, feeling a little confused. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 95. Yeshi had already laid down his body with peace of mind. Then I started to study the sword that turned from clay into a human, then from a human into a sword, and then from a sword into a human. Kingian sword, a true divine sword, unique, with infinite ocean source power, following the sword owner like a shadow, inseparable, the one who holds the sword is the Lord of the Seas and the Lord of the 10 countries. The sword spirit can be transformed into a human form. Hold the sword together to fight against the enemy. When the sword spirit and the sword body become one, you can mobilize divine power and flood the entire world. Yeshi looked at the exotic sword spirit and thought about it before choosing this name. After holding the Kingian sword and trying the Xuanhuan sword classic fish frying at sea, Yeshi I remembered that he had forgotten something. He covered his face in confusion. Why didn't the system remind me that I missed an octopus? Ding, it didn't choose to commit suicide. It will naturally look for it when the host remembers it. Yeshi looked serious and said in his mind, "Thank you for your thoughtfulness on behalf of Kraken." When Yeshi came to the Kola Peninsula again, the whole place has been alerted. All the original inhabitants of the island were asked to leave. However, these things did not disturb Yeshi very much. Instead, I was speechless when I saw the big octopus dozing there. It seems I'm really early. As soon as the sound came out, Kraken, who was sleeping soundly and snoring, suddenly woke up. Its body tensed up momentarily, and then went limp. Lying down in a very flattering posture, countless tentacles spread out. Some of them are intertwined together and formed into stone steps. Step after step, Yeshi was waiting to step on it and step on its back. Yeshi. Secret surveillance personnel. And after completing these actions very smoothly, it seemed that it realized that Behemoth had gone to another world. He jumped up in an instant, and his whole body was as high as dozens of stories. The big octopus's voice was full of flattery. Yeshi felt the gazes from all around, looked at the big sea monster, and twisted his eyebrows with some concern. Then ride each other. Directly into the sea. Back to my own island again. The big octopus seemed to know that he had made a mistake and kept trying to please Yeshi. Yeshi started to count his collection again in a very leisurely manner. After thinking about it, he fed several tubes of high-grade genetic energy liquid to the big octopus. Then he saw the other party sleeping on the edge of the island. Out of curiosity, Yeshi also used some advanced genetic energy liquid himself. You can indeed feel the powerful energy contained in it, which makes your cultivation even better. But in terms of these levels of energy theory, it is still far behind the immortal power in his body, so it needs constant transformation. And after his ultra-luxury spaceship was released, Yeshi followed the spacecraft operation manual specially given by the system. The energy core above was directly replaced. Although the energy core is very rare, compared with the eternal crystal, that's still far behind. And the quantum computer rewarded by the system. Yeshi also used it as a smart computer on the spacecraft to monitor his own island. That's right, the original smart butler of the island has been killed. As for the sun wheel, Yeshi hadn't figured out what to do with it yet, so he simply put it with other treasures. An artificial star core. Yeshi never thought about integrating into himself. But both of these things can be used on the island. Use this as a foundation to continue to grow. However, Yeshi was still hesitant about this and did not decide to do it immediately. After resting for a few days, Yeshi suddenly felt that he could not continue to be so decadent. Especially looking at the little Ilang and the Kunlun sacred tree that changed day by day. It feels like these two things are cheating. Growing up is even more exaggerated than him. Then, Yeshi started taking drugs crazily. Start eating snow ginseng fruit. There is also the use of crystals to practice. Both the divine treasure and the immortal power in the body are rising at a very stable rate. If compared with before, it was 11 before, but now it is 444. The strength has been greatly improved. By the way, because the bioresonance cell energy capsule really has no effect on him at all. Yeshi asked Laohu and Professor Yang to find some time. Give this thing away. At that time, I saw those people's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. Among them, people who are not familiar with him seem to want to kneel down to him. Yeshi scratched his head in embarrassment. While lying at home practicing, Yeshi occasionally reads the news. I saw that all countries have announced the world's secrets that they have hidden before, as well as the secrets of aliens. Not to mention this is another big earthquake. What's more important is that people from other countries were so angry at the people from the Dragon Kingdom that they even called Han Sang Smita, begging the people from the Dragon Kingdom to take them to study together. Many people watched with relish the frequent appearances of leaders from various countries performing the unique skill of Sichuan opera's face changing. And under every account of Yeshi, all of them were messages urging him to continue the live broadcast. Occasionally, Yeshi would talk on the phone with Laohu, classmates and teachers with whom he was close friends. The same is true. Only then did Ye realize that his alma mater had become the world-famous cradle of God. It has attracted countless foreigners from their own countries who want to join the school. And when the video appears online, I found that my classmates from childhood were all swearing to the media and the audience that they were extraordinary since childhood. He also said that when he was a child, he could tell at a glance that something was not human. Yeshi's face turned dark. Enough of these people. He saw all kinds of things he saw. After thinking about it, he decided to prove his innocence. So I posted a photo of myself and Black Sun with the text, "I hope some people will stop slandering me every day. What does it mean that I have not been a human being since I was a child? I am here to clarify my name. I have always been a human being and I am still a human being now." Yeshifa didn't feel anything yet. After I finished posting, I felt something was not right. And the comments below this Weibo made him regret posting this Weibo even more. This is the first time I see a person emphasize that he is a human being. As the saying goes, the more something is lacking, the more emphasis is placed on it, so, family members, you understand. Okay, I know you are not a human anymore, so when will the next live broadcast start? I can't live for a second without your live broadcast. Let me see what's not human about you, God yet. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 96. Because of the bioresonance cell energy capsule sent out by Yeshi, as well as the Nibiru spacecraft that had been towed away by the Dragon Kingdom people a long time ago, the technology of Dragon Kingdom has advanced by leaps and bounds. Of course, in addition to these individual technological products, there are also alien technologies that are divided up with other countries. Therefore, every country and cutting-edge scientists are involved in intensive research. Only Yeshi continued to be a salted fish lying flat on the island. Next to him is a huge octopus that just woke up. Although he slept a good while, the appearance of the octopus did not change significantly. The tentacles have grown a lot more and become much more flexible. However, after lying like this for a few days, Yeshi's mission map has been drawn out. Only, before going to this map, Yeshi needed to make some preparations. There is a model of a spaceship parked on his island. As soon as it is activated, you can fly to the universe. And a Kunlun sacred tree that is nearly 100 meters tall grows next to the island building. There was also a silver-white chi dragon that was more than 10 meters long and landed gently on the trunk of the sacred tree. The divine brilliance is reflected, the light is overflowing, and the brilliance is dense. There is an indescribable magic. A few days ago, Yeshi was still thinking about whether to integrate the sun wheel into the island. But now, I find that I can put this thought aside. Because the Kunlun sacred tree guides energy from different dimensions in the universe. He seems to have been stationed on this island, constantly expanding the soil under his tree roots. And the size of the island. There is no need for a superfluous sun will at all. It was also at this time. Yeshi stepped on his horse and found this sacred tree. Along was even more outrageous than a cheater like himself. They all grew to an incredible degree. The growth I experienced over such a long period of time is not as much as the growth I experienced in the few days after the world was unblocked. Jingle bell. Yeshi's cell phone rang suddenly. After he saw the familiar name, answered and said, "Hey, what's going on? I don't care about the affairs of Fengxian village." I only heard the voice coming from the other side. The tone was a little anxious and unbelievable. "No, aren't our people there to monitor the Bone Dragon Pond? Because it seems that no living creature can enter, so I chose to send a camera in. The environment below is too strange, so far it has been stopped in front of a long cave. But we discovered something big in the early hours of this morning. That Chi dragon seems to be alive." The news brought by Lao Hu made Yeshi suddenly exclaimed. "Lao Hu? How did you determine that?" Lao Hu said, "Didn't you explain in the live broadcast that there is a stone bed made of pure 5-color blue stones? We captured a dragon scale falling on the stone bed. After repeated comparisons, we found that this dragon scale did not appear in your live broadcast. Then we won't be able to monitor anything anymore, even dead objects can't be sent in." Lao Hu's tone was very complicated. "I have never thought about making this matter public, but after discussing it with Fatty and Shueli, I decided to tell you. After all, it has something to do with you. One more thing. After studying the Zixia Gong you gave me, hundreds of people have started to practice it. As for those people with special powers that already existed, we are not here, so we don't know what happened to them." Yeshi heard Lao Hu slowly finish explaining what happened there. "I learned a lot of important information, but I finally said this. What's going on with you? If you tip me off, there won't be any problem, right?" Next to Lao Hu were Shui Liang and Fatty. When I heard this, several people's expressions became strange. After coughing twice, Lao Hu chose to say, "Don't worry about that. They probably want me to contact you. I sent you the information we collected in the Bone Dragon Pond. Please accept it." Yeshi nodded after hearing that the other party was okay. After hanging up the phone, Yeshi was silent for a while, thinking about a very serious question. That is, will this living Chi dragon come to find his child? Ding, it's impossible to predict. Please explore by yourself. Yeshi. I haven't asked yet. But it was also because of this that Yeshi noticed that the world was turbulent. I felt the energy in my body. Yeshi suddenly felt a sense of urgency. Although he had hidden many trump cards. But at this time, Yeshi felt that 108 whole cards were still not enough. Steady, must be steady. Yeshi picked up the God's crystal with his right hand and began to practice. Occasionally, I take the time to cover my breath and go to the new Atlantis kingdom under the sea. After realizing that the divine treasure in his body contained divine power, as well as the surging immortal power from the immortal cultivation techniques, I just let go of my worries. This time, he decided to first obtain the ability to transform the ancient divine mirror. Yeshi waved his hand in the air. An extinct sea of stars appeared in front of him. Then under the blackness, 4 light spots were unusually dazzling. There are also some corners. A ring of light surrounds the entire blue star, surrounding these 4 points of light. It is the ice wall wonder of the world. The 5th map. Yeshi's perspective shifted from blue star to the other side. When Yeshi turned on the live broadcast again, everyone can see a huge snake god that is almost the same as heaven and earth with its eyes closed. Under high heaven. Holy shit, 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 it's so fast, running around and shouting, Lao Ye started a live broadcast. No need to run around and cry out, do you think it would be okay for everyone to reunite together? So where did it go? I almost reported to the underworld before I could take a breath. By Vuchain, then let me welcome the newcomers here. Fanwaju, we brothers will entertain you well. This snake, looks similar to what Swili Yang said, could it be here? Yes, she knew that his live broadcast would cause an uproar this time. After all, it happens every time. And after seeing the barrage in the live broadcast room, Yashi's voice was melodious, looking at the bustling city in front of him. Another sleeping snake god said. This is the evil Luosi city in the imaginary number space. It has disappeared from the world for countless years, but it has been revived because of the memory of the ancient gods. It is a city that has long been lost in history. It's both illusory and real. And behind the city is the ghost cave. In the ghost cave, the snake god has the sky above his head, and he is sitting in the boundless hell. At this moment, the people watching the live broadcast were deeply shocked. To a ruined ruin. Or searching for the truth of history in a deserted corner. In the end, the shock to them was slightly less than the sight of a living city in front of them. There's a lot of people and traffic. The place is lively as if it had never been destroyed. The first time I saw a brother yet exploring a place with people. Wait a minute, this is not necessarily a human being. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 97. The atmosphere was originally quite serious. Because this barrage suddenly made me feel a lot more relaxed. This is what I mean, it's the first time I saw Lao Ye exploring a place with so many people, ha ha ha, there are so many people JPG. Is this the god those giants are talking about? My heart collapsed when I first saw it, and I almost broke into pieces. To put it bluntly, I seemed to have this feeling when watching Black Sun, but it was very weak and not as direct. So, no one is curious about what Lao Ye is doing here again. There is a true god here. Originally, my home was relatively close to the desert, but now after seeing the snake god, I moved overnight. Isn't my brother planning to fight with the snake god? These people feel like they are really alive. I doubt they are alive. Memory, is it just memory projection? Yashi seemed to know the strangeness of these people, so he explained. Don't get me wrong, the people in evil Luhe City are all living people. If the term imaginary number space is difficult to understand, you can use the term different world to describe it. It means that evil Luhe City was completely destroyed in our world, but it was restored again in another world. But because Luhe City is quite special, this area seems to be separated from the outside world. Yashi stood on a high place and glanced into the distance. After this explanation, some people became even more unacceptable. So it turns out that the world is a dream is true, there is no difference between memory and dreams. So, is our world a real world? Golden Mouse, there is no point in thinking about this if you are happy. It is not impossible to regard yourself as an NPC in the game. The world is originally a cogito, therefore you can think that the world is a dream for you. Yashi dressed up in strange clothes and walked outside Luhe City, attracting the attention of many people. But the most they could do was mutter a few words, and there was nothing more. Because Yashi just wore weird clothes. There are a lot of strange things in evil Luhe City. Oh, here it comes. Yashi stopped in his tracks, looked at the 3 or 4 meter tall snake man, and fell into deep thought. Holy shit, isn't this a strange species researched by Jingju Ancient City? How come it exists in another world? Because I returned to their home. Not only snake men with human heads and snake bodies appeared here. Yashi also saw a half-human, half-animal creature. However, these creatures are more human than beasts. Out of curiosity, he overheard some people's discussions and realized this. I didn't expect that these snake people and leopard spirits came to evil Luhe City for this reason. The barrage has already been full of wow sounds. And Yashi continued to explain. Remember what I said, Queen Jingja started experimenting with immortality because of the mysterious clan from Kunlun. The snake people we saw in Jingju ancient city are the product of joint research. I didn't expect that people from this mysterious clan would act like the Queen of Fine Arts. They actually entered the imaginary number space, within the evil Luo Sea city. Although we are separated by time and space and have language barriers. However, the system live broadcast room has been upgraded, and the Wanja translation function has been added. Yashi no longer needs to act as a translator. It's just that although the audience understands it, they have no idea that there is such a story in the middle. After hearing that, Yashi connected everything together and told them. Netizens in front of the live broadcast room couldn't help but gasp. That's too silly. I thought it was purely for the method of immortality. Now that I think about it, the things recorded in Jingju ancient city are indeed not quite right. That's true, I haven't seen the coffin of the mysterious clan. Logically speaking, they should also be working on the method of immortality. I thought they took it away, but I never expected that this wave of people directly stole it. Queen Jingju, that's bad, I've been played. So what exactly is the mysterious clan? Is it the mysterious clan? The mysterious clan is the leopard spirit and tiger spirit that Lao Ye mentioned. Yashi covered his whereabouts and did not intend to have an earth-shattering battle here. And when those snake people, leopard people, and tiger people left, he glanced back and wrote it down. Then after wandering around in evil Luhe city and unlocking several scenes, Yashi discovered that the progress bar of the side task had stopped moving. Looks like I still have to get up close and personal with the snake god. Yashi looked at the huge snake head that was bigger than a mountain and murmured to himself. However, I remember Shui Liang also said that evil Luhe city is like a living city. Yashi's Hung wanted to push the task bar, and now naturally he wanted to try every possibility. So before going up the mountain, Yashi approached the city wall and tried to feel the city. As a result, I put my hand on it. Yashi's pupils shrank. What's going on? Did Lao Ye discover something again? Yashi knew why Sui Yang felt that the city was alive. It seems that countless years of sacrifices have made it active. He didn't know how to describe it in words. It is actually not wrong to say that it is alive, but it is not a dead thing, it is just active. Yashi explained this matter to the camera. When I saw that the progress of my taskbar had expanded a bit, I couldn't help but raise my eyebrows. I feel that what I did was indeed correct. I'm going to take a closer look at the snake god now. Everyone, please prepare. Yashi also kindly explained. But giving live broadcast netizens felt like a weasel giving New Year greetings to a chicken. I don't deserve to prepare, so I don't need to. It is only a brave person like Brother Ye who can give us so many novel live broadcasts. Hear the applause. Yashi, sorry, I am invincible, you can do whatever you want. Lao Ye doesn't care about this at all. I seriously doubt that he is actually the reincarnation of an ancient god. Yashi didn't care how he arranged the barrage. Anyway, when it's time to scare them, they will still be scared. The ancient gods were naturally filled with divine power, and every place on the road to the mountain was guarded. It's just that most of these people are blind and women. Some people were confused about this picture, and Yashi casually explained that it had something to do with the eyes of evil Luo Heiken's faith. And as it goes higher and higher, this overwhelming pressure is really unbearable. Yashi was indeed like a normal person. But many people clearly want to continue watching the live broadcast. But I was really flustered. You can only close your eyes and retreat or close the live broadcast. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 98. Yashi had been hiking and didn't notice the commotion in the live broadcast room. However, when the system reminds me, only then did he realize that the number of people in his live broadcast room had dropped for the first time, which surprised him greatly. So he raised his head and stared at the barrage in the live broadcast room. he suddenly discovered that the snake god's influence had reached this level. If you feel uncomfortable, don't force yourself to continue watching. Some people with slightly higher spiritual senses may notice something and receive information that should not be received, which affects the mind. I said this so early, we almost didn't hear it. It feels a little uncomfortable, but I can barely bear it. Is this the evil god? Otherwise, how could we feel this way? This wave of snake gods is more powerful than Lao, yet I feel like this is the first time I have seen the number of viewers drop so sharply since I entered the live broadcast room. To put it bluntly, I don't believe it. You can still affect me even though you are so far away. In fact, you are just a phobia of giant objects. How can it be such an exaggeration? It's not an exaggeration, even that big corpse-scented konjac plant can do this, let alone now. I think we still need to respect the ancient gods. I suggest you don't hold on, and the underworld will come later. Performance has exploded. Yashi also didn't expect that there were so many people with high spiritual awareness. But I immediately realized that this must have a lot to do with the unblocking of the world. Although the Aluhe city map has a complete world, but this place has been isolated from the outside, and only those with divine power can enter and exit freely. The huge snake head was above the clouds, and countless floating white clouds gathered together. Evil Luhe city is backed by a bottomless abyss. And a huge snake body emerged from the abyss. Based on the information Yeshi observed along the way and the systematic reminders, somewhat understood, the snake body that appeared was not necessarily a real snake god, but something similar to a snake spirit. However, after enduring years of sacrifices from the Gaidong clan in evil Luhe city, this creates a special active texture. In fact, if there is a real snake god here, so the real snake god is actually the ghost cave behind the evil Luhe city. Yeshi was already very close to the snake's body, so close that he could even feel its scales. It contains boundless power. The people in evil Luhe city gradually mastered divine power by relying on the power of the snake god emanating from them. The mountain at Yeshi's feet had turned into the shape of snake scales. There are even small snakes swimming on the ground and in the sky. It's chilling. I lost my sanity. I was a little scared. I didn't want to fight anymore. I quit. I felt that this was not something I could watch. There is no surprise, this is definitely an evil god family. My father said that only magic can defeat magic. You can imagine that you are the snake god, and you will not feel so uncomfortable. Jin Mao Bei, this is the method of visualization. Are you causing trouble for yourself by visualizing this kind of snake god that you have never seen before? Stop imagining. I'm worried you will turn into a snake. You are worse than those who quit the live broadcast room. Yeshi could actually feel that there was a special energy around him that wanted to invade his body and change his nature. But it stopped 3 inches away from his skin. There's no way to get close. But it was also because of this that Yeshi saw some comments in the live broadcast room. I learned that many people began to visualize the snake god. His mood. His expression. You guys are really trying to kill yourself. If you can't watch it, please exit the live broadcast room. If you don't want to become a snake man, don't imagine that you are a snake god. You can really do it. Yeshi didn't know what to say, so he finally reminded him a few words. After the reminder, I ignored it. If it had been done before, Yeshi would actually have needed to use the Xian longsword to protect himself. But now, after continuous practice on the island, just relying on the strength of his own flesh shell, he was able to keep himself from being disturbed by the aura of the ancient god who was so close at hand. And when he stood next to the ghost cave in the imaginary space again, Yeshi could feel a threat that was far more clear than ever before. A strong sense of crisis. The only thing that can compare with this sense of crisis is the Black Sun. But Black Sun and him were separated by an unknown amount of space. Yeshi also understood at this moment, no wonder the system reminded him not to provoke Black Sun. In such a comparison, it feels even more powerful than the snake god in front of me. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the side mission. Reward, transformation of the walking mirror. Congratulations to the host for obtaining dream power. Yashi was stunned. He didn't expect that this side mission could be completed so easily. He felt something was wrong. I remember that the side mission is to explore the demon kingdom, right? I have only walked around the evil Luhe city for a while. Why is it completed? Ding, after testing, the demon kingdom in this imaginary space only has the royal city of evil Luhe city, and the other places have been completely conquered. Yashi's pupils shrank. Breaking through. Yes, the clans from Kunlun Mountain have become the new masters of the demon kingdom. Yashi exhaled a breath of turbid air. Looking at the snake god who was even more majestic than the mountains, I felt for a moment that the snake god was also unlucky. Not to mention that they would die when they came to Blue Star. Now, the people from the Ghost Cave clan who are similar to the familiar clan have all been hummed in the imaginary number space. This god seems to have a little bit of disdain. What a pity. I hate to press the golden thread every year to make wedding clothes for others. After Yeshi read out this poem, he said in his mind. Extraction mirror transformation. After Yeshi finished speaking, he realized that the power of the dream was already in his body. With just one thought, this imaginary number space will completely collapse. Yeshi hesitated for a moment. Still can't continue to maintain this imaginary number space from the snake god. At this time, there were very few people in the live broadcast room. It was also at this time that Yeshi realized that things might not be what he imagined. I'm afraid it's the ones who can stay who are the most talented. As for why you are so sure, it's because that golden-haired shellfish is still very active in posting barrages. Because there are few people, the barrage allows you to basically communicate with each other one by one. After hearing what Yeshi said clearly, they all stopped their movements. God said the world no longer needs light. People who are still watching the live broadcast at this time cannot understand what is happening now. Because the entire snake god's huge body is disintegrating piece by piece. An evil Luhe city, along with the entire world, began to collapse. Everything turned into nothingness and chaos. Only a leaf full of dreamy colors still stood in place. Return to the present world. The ghost cave of this world. Broken. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 99. Yeshi reappeared in the desert, filled with yellow sand. Everyone only remembers the amazing glimpse just now. Compared to before, everyone in the very lonely live broadcast room had a changed expression and became dumbfounded. As for those people with special abilities who were specially sent by the special department to watch Yeshi's live broadcast, they couldn't calm down their excitement. He is indeed God. Yeshi still looked normal, as if what he was doing was very ordinary. He just waved his hand to the live broadcast room above. Why doesn't anyone say anything? Are they still surprised by what just happened? There's nothing surprising, it's just that I walked next to the snake god and found something, and then took that thing away. By the way, where is the red-haired monster we met before? Yeshi explained his affairs as usual, which could be regarded as telling the truth. It just doesn't match the scene that happened. But now, no one is posting barrages, and they don't even dare to make jokes. Because all of them who saw the live broadcast at this time were at that moment. I feel a huge gap in life levels. Just like mayflies and dragons. Kicks the doorframe. Yeshen is indeed Yeshen, I worship God Ye to the extreme, and I have worshipped you God Ye all day long. Look at me, I am your most loyal licking dog. Golden Mouse. My favorite Pikachu, that, me too. Yeshi eyes looked at the live broadcast room and looked around the desert curiously. I just wanted to take a look at the old red-haired monster I met when I was exploring the ancient city of Jingzhou. He thought that now that his strength had greatly improved, he could detect the traces of the red-haired monster. The yellow sand blows by. The entire city collapsed. Not just here, the entire Zagrama black magnetic mountain began to sink downwards. Yashi flew up quickly, and after searching for a long time, he still couldn't see the red-haired monster. I took a moment to glance at the barrage in the live broadcast room and rolled my eyes. Doorframe, I remember you weren't like this before. Kicking the doorframe, only my despicable image can bring out your foresight and greatness, Yeshen. Yashi almost laughed out loud when he saw this barrage. But in the end he held it back and waved to them. Okay, stop being poor. I have downloaded the live broadcast. It is estimated that the next live broadcast exploration will be in a few days. The place I go to is different this time. You can guess where I go and leave a message under my account. If you guess correctly, I send him a small gift. After saying this, Yeshi turned off his live broadcast. Then take out the blue pyramid. Just when he was about to teleport, he suddenly realized that he no longer needed to use this method now that he had dream power. So Yeshi sketched a scene in his mind, and then stepped into it in the void. People simply disappeared. But at the last second, Yeshi seemed to have discovered something was wrong. Deep in the Taklamakan desert, a red-haired monster appeared from the yellow sand and walked to a place. This place has a complete 5-color altar. The light from the 5-color altar rose into the sky, and the red-haired monster was teleported to another star field. Yeshi didn't understand. Why do I have the same authority as the snake god? But why is my dream space so small? Yeshi was really speechless when he looked at the world that was only the size of a small island. So I asked the system. Ding, although the host has one of the powers of the creator, it does not have the corresponding energy. Energy is needed to build the world. Yeshi understood that he only had permission rights, but exercising the permission rights required enough energy. Open sesame. Yeshi originally felt that it was a bit unsafe to wander around the Pacific Ocean every day. And since you can turn your memories into the real world. With the backhand, he directly saved the island in his memory. At the same time, Yeshi was surprised to find that his island and space gradually merged into one, forming a completely new look. And the Kunlun sacred tree is directly stationed in its own dream world. Gradually attracting energy, even without Yeshi's own cultivation, the Kunlun sacred tree helped expand the world. Yeshi, is there such a good thing? System, can I give the sun will to the Kunlun sacred tree and let it swallow it? Ding, it's absolutely okay. The Kunlun sacred tree can absorb all energy. Yeshi understood it completely, so he sent the sun will directly. Visible to the naked eye, the Kunlun sacred tree has grown vigorously. And the originally empty space began to have boundaries. So this is how the Kunlun sacred tree should be used. Yeshi thought for a while and finally came to the sea. After all, there is no point in squatting in a place the size of an island all the time. Simply in a place in the Pacific Ocean, something similar to a ghost hole connecting the imaginary number space was opened directly. Kraken can follow this place and enter his dream world, which is the world of memory. And everything inside will exist forever, and will not disappear with the disappearance and destruction of the world, but will only disappear with the disappearance of Yeshi. Just when Yeshi opened a hole in his memory that connected him to the Pacific Ocean. Now he can stay in the dream world while enjoying the sea view. Jingle bell. Hey, Lao Ye, we just couldn't get through to your phone number. What did you think we did? The fat man's loud voice came out. Yeshi had some enlightenment, that was when he was staying in the dream world. Isn't there someone here who is embarrassed? I just asked you if we can go and see the Jingzhou ancient city. Look, you just demolished other people's homes. How about we go pick up some garbage now? Yeshi, okay. I'm telling you, Lao Ye, you have always been an informal person. They are still afraid of offending you all day long, so they specifically asked us to give you a report. That's all right. If we go in, nothing big will happen. Lao Ye, you killed that big snake, right? Yeshi, that's about it. If you want to go in and do research now, go ahead. Apart from the sandworms, there shouldn't be any danger. Just be careful that there may be living snake people. Fatty, okay. Yeshi wanted to hang up the phone. At this time, a familiar voice came from the side. Brother Ye, we just received news that someone found a 5-color altar in the Taklamakan desert, and there are traces of it being used recently. What do you think? Yeshi thought about the movement he felt before leaving, and suddenly realized. Don't worry about me, you can do your own research. After Yeshi finished speaking, he hung up the phone. Then he casually asked the advanced robot to give him a fishing rod. I sat on the edge of the beach and started fishing without bait. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white-bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 100. The waves were roaring, and the waves splashed onto Yeshi's body. Next to it, an octopus that was slightly larger than before was also playing around. The global secret map is lighting up. Ding, the Mars Canal on the secondary map is lit. Please go explore it as soon as possible. Ask the host to live in heaven. Yeshi was speechless when he heard the last reminder, and then glanced sideways at the Tianwen spacecraft that was hanging in the air. The smooth appearance with a strong sense of technology and the eternal crystal as the source of power can fully support unlimited space navigation. Of course, Yeshi was not the only way to get to Mars. There is another idea, which is to open the 5-color altar and travel across the stars to Mars. However, although this can open the ancient road to the stars, there is no medium to ride on it, and you can only cross the 2 planets with the power of your physical body. Yeshi knew that with his current ability, he could achieve this point. But he still wants to experience the scenery of the universe, so he doesn't plan to do so for the time being. After fishing for a day and catching nothing, Yeshi gave up. He turned on his phone. Within this day, because of what Yeshi said at the end of the live broadcast. This caused the entire internet to be in a quarrel. Not only were they curious about where Yeshi would go to explore the next live broadcast. More importantly, they wanted a small gift certified by Yeshi himself. After browsing the news for a while, Yeshi AI realized that he had forgotten a very important thing when he said it. That is, only those who guess correctly will be given gifts, but there is no limit to how many people. There are so many people in the world, so the probability of running into the same guess is quite high. Therefore, not only did people who guessed differently get into a fight, but people who guessed the same thing even got into a fight that was going crazy. I, Liang Chenye, have made a statement here today. Even if Jesus comes today, I can't refute it. Yeshen will definitely go to the Sky Garden for his next live broadcast. With all due respect, the next live broadcast will be on the moon. I hope you won't be disrespectful and don't force me to kneel down and beg you. As we all know, every live broadcast by Lao Ye is unexpected. He originally thought he would go to the sea, land, and air, but ended up going to the underground and the polar regions. He must be completely contrary to what everyone guessed, and go to the place with the most people to live broadcast. Silly person upstairs, I am here to predict that live streaming will never leave the earth. If it does, just pretend that I didn't say anything. Worry, I'll open the market. Come and bet. I'll bet all my wealth on it. I'll bet that Yeshen will definitely go to outer space. No need to guess. Listen to me. Your ideas are all wrong. The next live broadcast will be to Nibiru. You all guess where the next live broadcast will be. I think I can't guess it. Let me just say something casually. Lao Ye may go to Mars. By the way, can anyone guess what Brother Ye's little gift will be? What magical secrets, or elixirs? Yashi quickly scanned some of the replies, and finally didn't bother to read any more, so he directly let artificial intelligence take over his network. Then start screening to see how many people guessed correctly. More than 120,000 people. So few. Yashi was right. Compared with the number of netizens around the world, this base is indeed small. Screen the first 10,000 people who said Mars. Then scatter an energy amethyst evenly and send it out. After Yashi casually told this matter, he posted a message on Weibo. Okay, congratulations to the 10,000 lucky people who received a surprise gift package from me. It will be delivered to your door. Remember to check it? An hour later, my live broadcast will come as scheduled, see you there or not. Yashi clicked and took a beautiful photo of Kraken's octopus and a photo of himself and sent them out as accompanying pictures. There are 10,000 people, so I'll be there for you. Lao Ye is bleeding heavily this time. 10,000 people, I should be there for you no matter what. Fantasy, if you really win with this chance, the things in your hand must not be surrendered. Hey, after all, everyone knows who is the least human. The broadcast will start in an hour. I originally thought that Lao Ye would be defeated, but I didn't expect that he would fight so hard. My family, even Lao Ye is not lying down, so what reason do you have to lie down? G. Ken Madness Thursday VME 50. Good news, Lao Ye will start broadcasting in an hour. Bad news, I still don't know where to go. Hey, this is the taste, we want a surprise. The ruthless man upstairs, every surprise is a shock, but you actually want a surprise just like Do-M, right? It's not easy to get a surprise. Follow Brother Yes trail. I guarantee that you will survive or not. Every minute, every second, the surprise will keep your heart beating in your throat. After Yashi took care of the things here, he was about to sneak out in the spaceship, but this time he finally remembered Kraken, whom he had forgotten twice. After confirming that the other party can survive in space, Yashi took the opponent's tentacles and boarded the spaceship together. Hey, family, a surprise is coming. Look, if this is not a surprise, then what is a surprise? Yashi started the live broadcast very punctually. The start of the live broadcast almost frightened the fans who were squatting in his live broadcast room into cardiac arrest. Only one person was watching the fun and didn't mind the trouble. He typed out the comments blindly. The others were all dead and didn't post comments as excitedly as before. Perhaps it should be said that the person is still alive, but the soul has been scared away. Bye Vuchain, my friend, please don't give us performance anymore. Thanks to you, I have bought a single family house and a carriage in the underworld. I don't have to go to the underworld every day to collect souls. Thank you for the rockets you sent us. The underworld can't accommodate us. Yeah X. Everyone who logged in to watch the live broadcast room at the first time was full of pain masks. Cold sweat poured down. The weather was not cold, but everyone was like being nailed to the seat. They didn't dare to move at all, for fear that they would die if they moved. The person ran in front, and the soul chased behind. Yashi, you are this rightward arrow. I once again felt the familiar and long-lost fear, the familiar taste, the familiar formula, flipping the table. I don't want to play anymore. Yashi felt that he was innocent too when he saw the netizens who were breaking down. He was relatively close to the moon at this time, at least closer than the blue planet. Looking at the Earth from here, people feel a kind of exploding fear, just like a rootless duckweed floating in the air. Few astronauts who landed on the moon looked at the blue planet from the moon, just like this. Because it was too sparse. Of course. Yashi's problem was not just this, but letting a huge octopus follow him around in the universe. From this perspective, everyone thinks that this octopus is equivalent to spreading its huge body and clinging to the blue planet. which makes people tremble. Alegio, you are really a dog.